Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have Bella Hadid. Would your parents have allowed you to get a nose job at the age of 14? Well, Bella Hadid's did. For years, speculation rumors have followed the model due to her drastically changing face. Though she isn't botched at all, she does look completely different than she used to. When asked about her plastic surgery journey, she admits to having a nose job at the age of 14. She goes on to say, quote, "I wish I had kept the nose of my ancestors. I think I would have grown into it." While admitting to just the nose job, she denies the rumors of getting an eye lift or lip filler. Bella says, quote, "Whoever thinks I've gotten my eyes lifted or whatever, it's face tape. The oldest trick in the book." She did admit to thinking about her looks in maybe not the most loving way, revealing how it was not only a large part of her childhood, but affected her getting her foot into the modeling industry. She shares, quote, "I was the uglier sister. I was the brunette. I wasn't as cool as Gigi, not as outgoing. That's really what people said about me, and unfortunately when you get told things so many times, you just believe it." Though never revealing she has had anything more than a nose job, doctors have speculated her clear skin could be a result of fillers. What do you guys think? Secret plastic surgery or just someone who has a really good skincare routine? In our number 9 spot today we have Courteney Cox. The iconic Friends legend has never been shy to admit her plastic surgery fails, which is something we really have to admire. Revealing how she has a lot of young friends making her feel young too, she says how she feels they are all the same age until she really studies it. When asked about her 60th birthday, which is in the near future, she responded saying, quote, "Oh god, it's so hard to even hear or say. I can't believe it. There's nothing wrong with being 60, but time just goes by so fast." Her face has changed, of course, with age, but with injections, age sometimes looks a little different. Courtney reveals she is finally coming to terms with aging and is going to begin embracing it, saying, quote, "I tried to change that youthfulness for years and I didn't realize that, oh, I'm actually starting to look really strange with injections and doing stuff to my face that I would never do now." Once she realized that people were talking about her interesting choices in surgery and fans sharing how they felt the star was looking quite different, is how she knew that it was time for her to stop. Admitting later that it is just crazy, she agrees with fans that at a point she was beginning to look unrecognizable. Being a big fan of fillers in the past, she announced in 2017 that she had them dissolved. She said, quote, "I've had to learn to embrace the movement and realize that fillers are not my friend. I've had all of my fillers dissolved. I'm as natural as can be. I feel better because I look more like myself. I think that now I look more like the person I was. I hope I do." In our number 8 spot today we have Donatella Versace. Even though Versace fans love to mimic her words, no one quite wants her physical appearance as of lately. Being a huge fashion icon and stepping up when her brother, Gianni Versace, passed away, she really has shown the world who she is. But people have been noticing her ever-changing face throughout the years. When she first stepped off a flight in 2014, fans barely recognized her. Fans related her to looking like a melted candle in the heat, as her skin appeared to be waxy. A doctor came forward with a few speculations on what they thought she had gotten done, saying, quote, "Her skin is very shiny, which is a symptom of too much Botox and laser resurfacing used to smooth the skin. I think there is a bone loss in her lower jaw, so there may have been an implant there." A plastic surgery expert has chimed in as well to discuss her overdone Botox, especially regarding her forehead, saying, quote, "It's not natural for a woman of her age to have no lines and wrinkles on her forehead or around her eyes. I would expect her to have regular Botox treatments with her own non-surgical specialist." The expert also goes on to discuss her eyes and how they appear close to shut, showing how this is directly related to having too much Botox done. Admitting in the past to just getting Botox, but only on her face, she revealed in an interview that it does take a lot of work to get her look. If you think she's going to admit to more plastic surgery, she isn't. She says, quote, "I'm not like this genetically. I use tons of creams and take care of my hair and skin." Other plastic surgeons believe that she has gotten it all. After viral images of her spiraled around the internet, it landed her the nickname of human waxwork. In our number 7 spot today we have Madonna. Over the years, Madonna has always been speculated as having gotten plastic surgery, with famously saying, quote, "To age is a sin." It's hard to believe she has never undergone any surgeries in the past. Up until Until recently, she has been pretty guarded about revealing any of the work she's had done, but this doesn't stop people from talking. Doctors and plastic surgery experts suspect the singer has had collagen implants, Botox, and facial implants done in the past few years. When asked about plastic surgery and to address the speculation in 2012, Madonna said, "I am certainly not against plastic surgery. However, I am absolutely against having to discuss it." Of course, being in the public eye, the conversation was definitely going to be brought back up again. Back in 2019, following a performance on New Year's Eve at the Stonewall Inn in New York, many fans and the media believed Madonna had gone as far as even getting butt implants put in. The singer was quick to respond to these reports, writing in a Twitter post, quote, "Desperately seeking no one's approval and entitled to free agency over my body, like everyone else." Recently, it seems Madonna isn't as shy to admit the procedures she is now getting done. The singer has apparently admitted to getting plastic surgery in a post on social media. This comes just 2 weeks after fans began expressing their concern about her unrecognizable appearance at the Grammys. One Grammy viewer wrote, when seeing the star on TV, quote, "What happened to Madonna? Is it just me, or does she look like someone who looks like Madonna?" Madonna posted a photo on her Twitter appearing to respond to the fact that fans believed she didn't look like herself. She captioned the photo with, quote, "Look how cute I am now that the swelling from surgery has gone down." Though she didn't give any more details on what the surgery she had done entailed, many believe that this is the most admittance that we will likely ever get from the star. What do you think of Madonna's new look? In our number 6 spot today, we have Renee Zellweger. Have you seen the Bridget Jones Diary star Renee Zellweger lately? Did you recognize her? Many fans believe she has a completely different face than the one we all saw in the 2001 rom-com. This was my script, I would have referenced Chicago, just so everyone knows. One Twitter user wrote, quote, "I personally think that as an actor, you have to be careful when changing parts of your face. In my view, Renee is unrecognizable." Though she has never admitted to getting anything done in the past, saying in 2016, quote, "Not that it's anyone's business, but I did not make a decision to alter my face and have surgery on my eyes." Doctors have continued to come forward for their beliefs on what Renee has potentially gotten done. An expert surgeon agreed with fans' speculation of the surgeries, revealing they believe she has had several procedures done in the past. They go on to say, quote, "Renee has undergone some facial procedures to contour the shape of her face, including fillers to give her face a fuller appearance, plus Botox around the brow area to tighten her skin and make it appear more youthful." When Renee first stepped into the Hollywood scene, she had a very unique look, with many saying that her heavy eyelids were all a part of her charm. The expert surgeon explained that with age, this feature can give the appearance of having tired and droopy looking eyes, going on to explain that it appears Renee opted to avoid this outcome and went on to have a procedure to open up her eyes and give her more of a youthful appearance. Renee explains to the press that this is actually just from working out and a healthy diet. In our number 5 spot today, we have Lil Kim. Lil Kim is one of the most influential women in hip-hop and an iconic artist in rap history. With this type of fame comes hand in hand with being in the center of spiraling rumors as well. Kim has been widely talked about, with fans and the media noticing how unrecognizable she has become over the years. She has previously opened up about having a procedure done on her nose, which she got done after receiving a broken nose from a violent relationship. This initial surgery led to the artist seeking out more and pursuing further surgeries. It has been widely speculated that Kim has also had breast augmentation, chin and cheek fillers, as well as an eye lift. When recalling why she wanted to undergo these procedures, she revealed, quote, "I think I did it because I was a little too vain at the time. I was trying to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist." She didn't deny that her desire for perfectionism did become excessive at times. According to several sources, it has been reported that all of these surgeries have caused some nerve damage. This is unfortunately not what the rapper had intended. In our number 4 spot today, we have Anjelica Huston. Anjelica Huston, or as many remember her, the 90s Morticia Addams from the Addams Family movie series. This iconic star is no stranger to undergoing various plastic surgery procedures and has previously admitted to having collagen injections just to smooth things out. However, there are some procedures she has been put off forever, one being Botox. Anjelica explains, quote, "I went to a doctor who said, 'Anjelica, we have this wonderful new thing. It's called Botox.' He took a huge needle and plunged it into my third eye. The pain was something inexplicable. I gasped, and when I came to, I had a headache that lasted 4 days. This ended up not going well for the star, as she unfortunately suffered the consequences of stopping the use of Botox and plastic surgery. When Anjelica said no more to plastic surgery, it caused her face to droop, leaving her unrecognizable to some fans. Though she will always be beautiful, it's unfortunate how the pressures of Hollywood seem to take hold. With Anjelica saying the doctor explained to her how this is a way to keep her young, I can imagine that it's just really easy to believe them. In our number 3 spot today we have Courtney Love. Courtney Love, an icon who has always admitted to loving to take care of herself, believing that even as she ages, she needs to look as good as possible. In 2014, Courtney explained to the press about her facial transformation. Never one to be shy to talk about what she has had done, she reveals how she underwent a rhinoplasty in the mid-80s, admitting to not loving her nose. She explains, quote, "That schnoz was not taking me anywhere by radio. I got my nose fixed and in 6 months the world changed." Going on to say getting this procedure when she was 20 is something that she has never regretted. When talking about her aging process in 2013, Courtney expressed how she wishes no one would ask her how to age gracefully, going on to say, quote, "Come on, I took advice from Goldie Hawn when she said I should get a facelift at 35. Never one to regret any of the work she has had done in the past, she explains in a Rolling Stone interview that she has had a lot of procedures done in the past, but she still likes the way she looks. Courtney says, quote, "I like the way I look. I've had a lot of work done, but it looks good." Even though she does look quite different than when she once did, what do you guys think about the work she's had done? In our number 2 spot today we have LaToya Jackson. Getting plastic surgery, as we know, runs in the Jackson family, and LaToya Jackson is no exception. When first becoming noticed in Hollywood, LaToya was definitely a beauty, making it surprising for fans when she decided to hit the operating table. Fans have speculated that both LaToya and her brother Michael Jackson went to the same surgeon, as her current facial features are insanely similar. The star has always been open about her procedures, admitting in the past to getting a nose job, breast augmentation, as well as liposuction. Though LaToya seems to be a fan of her transformation, many fans have questioned her as to if she's turning into Michael Jackson. In our number 1 spot today we have Cher. When looking at the legend that is Cher, her facial transformation has had fans asking, what has she had done? Also never being shy to admit it, she has spoken about a number of procedures she has undergone, saying, quote, "I've had my breasts done, but breast operations were a nightmare. They were botched in every way." Also being asked if she has had a facelift by the press, she responded with, quote, "Yes, I have had a facelift, but who hasn't?" The most Cher answer out there. Though many fans believe she looks good with her procedures, saying, quote, "I have nothing against non-surgical procedures or plastic surgery. To each their own, but if you're going to do it, at least do it right. Cher looks great for her age." Others aren't so sure, taking to Twitter. One user even urged Kim Kardashian to stop her plastic surgery procedures now before she ends up looking like Cher. Has Cher gone too far, or has she managed to truly stay young forever?
In at 10, Ezra Miller. Oh boy, what a way to start off this list. Sure, you may recognize the face, but in 2022, Ezra Miller is seemingly a completely different person. From perks of being a wallflower to now, oh my god, they've seemingly been replaced by a clone. After reports came of Ezra seemingly turning an Airbnb in Iceland into what one woman compared to a commune during the filming of Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, things only got more insane from there. A few months later, a disturbing video surfaced showing Miller choking a woman and throwing her to the ground. Variety then confirmed the location of the altercation, and employees of the bar identified the one in the video as Miller. And the video made the rounds on the internet, and oh boy. While the original tweet has been deleted, nothing you post on the internet ever goes away. Then nearly a year later, Miller was arrested in Hawaii and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment due to a confrontation with patrons at a local bar that turned physical. And with the hype that had built around the Flash solo film and the Snyder Cut, with the Crisis on Infinite Earths cameo on the CW Arrowverse, this was definitely something horrifying to see, especially after the couple that bailed Miller out of jail then filed a restraining order against them a couple days later. In at 9, Rebel Wilson. Known mostly for her role as Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect and Pitch Perfect 2, seems to be an entirely new person as of 2022. Starting what she called her year of health in 2020, Wilson would be unrecognizable to anyone who hadn't followed that journey. Since 2020, Wilson has lost 77 pounds and has openly talked about not only her diet, journey, and body positivity, but she also mentions how helpful it was to go on walks several times a week. She of course threw her own brand of comedy into this journey with a video working out using water bottles, which I personally find very compelling, but this is still a massive change over just 2 years. She mentioned how how she had to remind herself that things take time, saying, quote, "I should take it a bit easier on myself and just do it gently and do it lightly." So in 2020 I lost weight, but very gradually. Sometimes I kicked things up a notch with some workouts and went hard, but the majority of the work for the year was just doing things like walking for an hour. And while of course the same method won't yield the same results for everyone, hopefully her journey can help you to continue or start your own. Also, if you guys like this kind of video, be sure you hit subscribe, alright? It's not me all the time, I promise. I'm just helping out. Just do it. And at 8, Jake Short. Okay, I knew Jake Short as Fletcher from Ant Farm, but after scrolling through TikTok, I stumbled upon a clip from a podcast hosted by who I recognized as Gabe Duncan, Bradley Perry. Checking the comments, I noticed a lot of people mentioning the other host as well, who I didn't really recognize but kind of thought I knew them in my head, and they kept referencing Mighty Med, which was a show that ran on the Disney Channel from 2013 to 2015, so I looked it up to see who the other guy was, and that's when it clicked that it was Fletcher Quinby from Ant Farm, real name Jake Short. This was like an insane revelation for me and something that I never expected, which is why I feel the need to put it on this list, okay, because this had me gobsmacked. I get that it's been 10 years, okay, but the beard that he had in the clip and the hair, and then him having an insane growth spurt. The last time I remember seeing Jake on screen was in Ant Farm, whereas like we saw Bradley age during Good Luck Charlie's run, okay, so it was an insane shock that actually blew my mind. So yeah, if you didn't know, now you do, and hopefully it's not just me who was blindsided. And at 7, Adele. The singer released her first album in 2008 when she was 19 years old, but now at 30 she has a new album and is about 100 pounds lighter. That and her decision to ditch the dark hair and bangs that she was sporting in the beginning has left Adele unrecognizable. Following 2 slipped discs and a C-section, the singer wanted to focus on feeling stronger both mentally and physically. Her personal trainer shared that she got really turned towards focusing on her movement, and especially strength training. So focused on that she started doubling sessions. She told Oprah, "I'm actually an athlete, I'm not even boasting." She also shared that she is a talented boxer and has a killer left hook. There were rumors that she was following a restrictive diet but immediately shut them down. A big leading factor into her journey is her breakup with her husband and becoming a single mother, and if you didn't really follow her aside from maybe her music, I'm sure that this would have come as even more of a shock like it did with me. I don't really listen to music, so yeah, I wasn't even following the music, and then yeah, hopefully you get it. And at 6, Matthew Lewis. Matthew once told The Big Issue that he had to wear a fat suit and false teeth and stuff to stick my ears out in order to portray Neville Longbottom in the Harry Potter series. And it's been reported that Matthew's character was either based on or the basis for the term longbottoming, which is detailed by Urban Dictionary as, quote, "the sometimes slow, sometimes overnight, always surprising transformation of someone, usually a man, from decidedly unattractive to hot as hell." I'm pretty sure that's what the character's name was based on and not the other way around. But either way, cue Matthew playing Neville in the Harry Potter film franchise, which afterwards he had a major glow up that surprised everyone, with the majority of people agreeing that he got even more attractive after the series, despite the character also having a glow up within the context of the films. But given that according to most studies I believe men reach their prime around their 40s or 50s, this would be understandable. Since Lewis has gotten closer to this range after the movies, people would see him as more attractive and experienced. This is also not referring to someone's physical prime or the prime that is typically associated with sports. I think you can understand what I'm saying. Halfway through into number 5, Macaulay Culkin. Of course known for his iconic role in Home Alone and Home Alone 2 Lost in New York, Macaulay Culkin is commonly regarded as one of the most successful child actors of the 90s. After retiring from acting at the age of 14, he explained the decision saying he was being seriously exploited by his father. One of the most shocking pictures of Culkin though made the rounds back in 2012 and was often one of the featured images in articles talking about child actors and the toll that it takes, along with many articles focused on people whose lives got destroyed, or for the majority of the time articles talking about celebrities who destroyed their own lives. But if you put the photos of 2012 Macaulay next to 2022 Macaulay, you may know who it is just based on how iconic he is, but you'd think that they were from 2 different worlds. Like when I saw those pictures back in 2012, I was upset, alright? I had hoped that he would be able to get out of that situation, and then he joined Smosh for a Try Not to Laugh video back in 2019, and it was like night and day. And at 4, Jared Leto. Jared Leto is known for his unbelievable transformation abilities, and he does it constantly, like with his role for Paolo Gucci in Ridley Scott's true crime drama House of Gucci. In that role, he wears a bald head, facial prosthetics, and flashy clothes, because you know, he's a luxury brand's former design chief. You get the idea, alright? But this transformation was so shocking that his co-stars didn't even recognize him the first day on set. Apparently Apparently, Al Pacino had no idea who Leto was. Leto said in an interview, quote, "The first day I showed up on set in character, I went over to Al Pacino and I say hello to him and he kind of brushed me off. You could tell that he couldn't wait to get away from me. But then someone told him it was Leto and he was shocked with the transformation. When asked how long the hair and makeup would take every day, Leto said the physical part of it was about 6 hours in the morning and about an hour at night, which is insane. But to be fair, for the live-action Grinch film, Jim Carrey had to complete CIA torture endurance training to get through that makeup process. So I guess you could say when Leto gets in the chair, it's Morbin time. Getting close to the end, into number 3, Carrot Top. If you look at Carrot Top then and now, your mind will be absolutely blown, okay? It's crazy what this 56-year-old comedian looks like now. From looking like a ginger Napoleon Dynamite character to now looking like the star of Chucky, I'm Not Child's Playing Around, there are drastic differences between what seems to be his stages. Like, basically, he's the Machop of humans, okay? I can't wait to see him grow another 2 arms. It's so drastic that many people believe that he's gone through plastic surgery. Some even saying several specifically for his face. It's like the whole Zac Efron jaw thing, but for comedians. Of course, I'm saying all of this as a joke because, well, he's a comedian. It makes sense in the context. But you're lying if you say that Carrot Top looks the same, okay? The only thing that's similar is the hair. Without it, you would have no idea who he was. But ultimately, in at number 2, Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is another comedian and actor who has had multiple stages, I guess is the best way to describe it. In 2 years, he went from looking like himself in Neighbors from 2014 to looking like a hot dog in Sausage Party. It's a joke because it was animated. And now, come 2023, he's going to look like a gorilla named after a donkey. Again, another joke about animation, but also, why is a gorilla named Donkey? That seems annoying. Without the beard though, Seth actually looks like a completely different person, which we could see at the Emmys back in 2021. And before that, he went on his own weight loss journey, which was shocking to many, with multiple sites stating that he lost 30 pounds in 10 weeks. And while some actors do have drastic changes for roles, take Christian Bale for instance, this was still a shock to many. Plus, again, without the beard, he looks like a totally different person. I am standing by that statement. There's not that drastic of a change like there was with Jonah Hill. However, there is definitely a noticeable difference that can make you forget who you're looking at. And finally, in at number 1, Kelly Osbourne. Having famous parents like Ozzy and Cher and Osbourne, you're bound to grow up with a giant light focused on you. Some would say a spotlight, which means the whole world can watch you go through your most awkward phases. We love that, right? Yeah, no. When we saw her in the early 2000s, the Osbournes on the red carpet, she was with her parents and they were usually sporting very grungy punk rock mixed with kind of a girly style out there. I don't know, I don't get it. I'm not a fashion guy. Obviously, I'm wearing a sweater, often sporting dark eye makeup and short black hair. She had never looked more like her mother, but now Kelly has gone through quite the transformation. 20 years since the Family Show first aired, she's now rocking lilac colored hair and has shed quite a bit of weight. She struggled quite a lot growing up with substances and mental illness, but she has since sobered up and openly shared various aspects of her life. Osbourne lost 38 kilograms and said that the surgery was far from a quick fix and it required a lifestyle change. And if you look at her from her time on the show to now, you would never know it's the same person, okay? And at least you don't have tiny glasses, right? Because I don't get that. Why are they so small? As someone who needs glasses to read, I don't understand it.
Coming in number 10, 50 Cent. When 50 Cent made his surprise appearance at the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show in Los Angeles, the way he was hanging upside down opened him up to a whole new level of mockery. Immediately, the memes started flowing across social media, all fat-shaming 50 Cent. In the performance, he recreated parts of his music video from the 2003 hit Into Club, but he wore a tank top instead of being shirtless like in the original. In response to the outpouring of people saying that 50 looked unrecognizable now, he posted a picture of him and Eminem backstage and captioned it with, "I call this teasing me, they're just teasing me because they know I can drop the weight. That's why I laugh with them. Fat shaming only applies when you're ashamed of your fat." But before we get into our next point, make sure you tap that like button to show some love to the channel. Coming in number 9, Kathleen Turner. In 1992, Kathleen gave up a stellar movie career when she was diagnosed with a form of crippling arthritis and told by one doctor that she may never walk again. When the ravaging effects of rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic inflammatory disorder that affects the joints, and the drugs used to control it caused her to bloat and gain weight, her looks were the last thing on her mind. All she was concerned about was surviving. When making her return to the remake of Dumb and Dumber in 2014, people were worried that she would actually be upset with the script. In one part of the script, Jim and Jeff meet this woman and she says, "I'm Frida." And they say, "No, Frida's hot. Frida's smoking. That's not you." In response, she said, "Do you know what? I don't look like I did 30 years ago, get over it." People were very cruel and accused her of being a drunk. At the time she wasn't, but she admitted that she later found that vodka helped numb the pain. In 2008, she said in her autobiography that she started using alcohol as pain relief because the drugs were messing up her mind, but it soon spiraled out of control. A few years ago, she decided to change her life and admitted that she had entered a destructive circle in which she became entangled. With the help of friends and family, she's now feeling much better. In at number 8, Matt LeBlanc. Recently, Matt was spotted looking unrecognizable as he sported some stubble and baggy sweatpants. The actor who played Joey Tribbiani on the hit show Friends is not often seen out in public, but was caught by the paparazzi at a body shop in Sherman Oaks, California. This rare sighting of Matt LeBlanc also comes after many fans expressed concern for his co-star and friend Matthew Perry, but we'll get to him in a moment though. Matt LeBlanc was widely credited as being the heartthrob of the Friends cast, and now in his older years it seems as though he's not troubled by the level of vanity that his iconic character was held to, letting his hair go gray and rocking a dad bod with no problem. His confidence and humor is truly what made the character of Joey great, and the good thing about that is Matt's confidence and humor is still very much intact. In at number 7, Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan began her acting career in 1981 with minor roles before she joined the cast of the CBS soap opera called As the World Turns the following year. After that, she began to appear in a variety of supporting roles throughout the 1980s in big box office films such as Top Gun and When Harry Met Sally. By 1989, Meg Ryan had gained widespread attention for receiving her first Golden Globe nomination, which established her as an internationally known actor. When it came to romantic comedy flicks, everyone wanted to cast Meg. She was by far one of the most successful actresses in the 90s and early 2000s because of this. That being said, Meg Ryan suddenly disappeared from Hollywood after a single role as a schoolteacher in a racy R-rated film ended her career. Meg thinks that because people had pigeonholed her as this comedic and lighthearted actress, they were almost appalled watching her act in anything that wasn't that good girl archetype. She was shocked at the vicious reaction she received for being naked in one of the scenes, and thus being in the public eye suddenly made her feel more isolated. In 2015, she turned heads as she attended an event in Paris, marking her first public appearance in 14 months. Many were shocked to see that her nose also looked remarkably different, and she seemed to have a strained appearance around her eyes, resulting in more and more people to remark that she looked unrecognizable now. In at number 6, John Travolta. John Travolta became a household name through his films like Grease and Pulp Fiction, and sported some of the most iconic and cult classic hairstyles. However, in a more recent Instagram post, the actor looked unrecognizable. In an Instagram video and caption, John thanks everyone for wishing him a happy birthday as he awaits his guests for dinner. When people think about John Travolta though, so many people immediately go back to those signature hairstyles, which is probably why it seems so jarring to see him completely bald. He does sort of look like he's about to audition for Professor X or maybe Mr. Clean the movie, although I have to say that it doesn't look all that bad. However, some people still do not know how to feel about it. One user writes, "I can't believe John Travolta is bald now and also 69 next year, but also bald." And at number 5, Heather Locklear. Throughout the 1990s, Heather Locklear was a huge star in Hollywood. She probably couldn't even walk down the street without getting recognized. Unfortunately, the bigger the star, the bigger the supernova. Throughout the last decade and a half, her health has been deteriorating, and due to the medication that she was on, Locklear became pretty unstable. In 2018, she had 2 confrontations with the police that led to her pleading no contest to misdemeanor charges. Police were called to the actress' home, but when they arrived, she actually attacked an officer. As a result, she was taken away for evaluation instead of being given any jail time. The weirdest part about this is that she didn't even need to appear in court for her hearing. Her attorney Bill Haney was sent on her behalf instead. A judge handed her a 120-day jail sentence, but said that she wouldn't have to serve time if she just completed a 30-day treatment program. Along with that, she also had to follow the terms of a 3-year probation, but never really saw any jail time for attacking that police officer. In number 4, Matthew Perry. Getting back to Matthew Perry though, since that Friends reunion show, Matthew Perry has never looked more unrecognizable. In the past, Matthew has admitted openly that he has struggles with addiction, and fans recently revealed fears that he may be using again. In May of 2021, Matthew sat down with his Friends co-stars for an interview with People magazine. However, fans pointed out that he didn't seem to be responding to the questions in his usual comedic tone. Instead, they suggested that he was slurring his speech and even nodding off at one point. In a YouTube comment, one person writes, "I know we are all sad about Matthew, but let's remember he has suffered a lot of health-related issues and he has struggled with addiction. Let's all be kind and polite and remember all the funny moments he gave us through his role as Chandler. Thank you." In at number 3, Angus Jones. Angus Jones is perhaps best known for playing Jake Harper in the CBS sitcom 2.5 Men, for which he won 2 Young Artist Awards and a TV Land Award. The show was the most popular sitcom in the US with an average audience of around 15 million people. By 2010, he was the highest paid child star in television at 17 years old. By 2012, though, Jones had turned 18 and really felt awkward with the new adult storylines that he was doing for the show. As a result of growing up, the writers could no longer give him childish lines and innocent mannerisms that Jake was so well known for. By November of 2012, Angus said that he had been baptized and no longer wanted to appear on the show anymore. He even went as far as saying that the show was filth and thus conflicted with his newfound religious views. In at number 2, Jennifer Grey. After her starring role in the movie Dirty Dancing, Jennifer Grey was completely unaware aware of how famous she was about to become. The movie didn't perform well at award ceremonies, but it became widely popularized for certain scenes and lines. Jennifer decided to have a bit of cosmetic work done following the success of the film. This, however, turned into the now infamous nose job from hell. Grey told The Mirror, "I went into the operating room a celebrity and came out anonymous." The nose job had altered her appearance just enough that even fans of the film didn't recognize her anymore.
I had my ears pinned back. I had injections in my lips. I had my chin shaved down. I had my breasts redone.
Last but certainly not least, on our number one spot, Heidi Montag. Heidi Montag had already established herself as a leading character on the MTV show called The Hills. It was this scripted show about a group of friends, lovers, and enemies in LA, but it was made to appear like a reality show in a sense. Heidi was clearly obsessed with the idea of changing how she looked, and as reported by Radar Online, Heidi said, "I didn't know what an eyebrow lift and a chin reduction was, so once he kind of told me everything that was wrong with me, I felt really insecure, and he gave me a really great deal on it all. He didn't tell me how extensive it was going to be, how severe, how painful, so I had no idea." Then they go on to list the procedures she had done in 2010. In total, Heidi Montag went under the knife for 10 plastic surgery sessions in just one day. When she appeared on the cover of People magazine looking completely different from her previous self, she told them, "I think I look way better and I'm way happier. Nobody ages perfectly, so I plan to keep using surgery to make me as perfect as I can be." And following all the surgery, she definitely did get lots of attention for that, but the question is, at what cost? She does regret changing her body so drastically because of the impact that it's had on her health, as noted in this Entertainment Tonight interview.
I've had numbness in my arm as well from pinched nerves because of everything. So my arm has been going numb on and off for several months now.
Coming in at number 10, Brendan Fraser. With a few upcoming movie roles, it appears like Brendan Fraser is indeed back at it in an era that is being dubbed the Renaissance. Many people really enjoyed watching him in the DC series Doom Patrol, but they're also going to get to see him in big projects like Martin Scorsese's Apple TV film called Killers of the Flower Moon. He will be starring alongside the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. Back in 2018, Fraser briefly spoke about these several events in his personal life that kept him out of Hollywood. While speaking with GQ, he said that he had changed houses, went through a divorce, plus he just wanted to spend more time with his kids. And he revealed the physical toll that his career had taken on him over the years. By the time that he had finished his third Mummy film in China, he said that he was basically being held together with tape and ice, which meant that he would spend 7 years in and out of the hospital due to the injuries he sustained from doing his own stunts. But with all of that behind him, we are so happy to see that Brendan is back and better than ever. But before we get into our next point, make sure you tap that like button to show some love to the channel. Coming in number 9, Jessica Simpson. Jessica Simpson recently celebrated 4 years sober, and in doing so, she showed off a candid photo that even she believes is an unrecognizable version of herself. The photo was from Simpson's first day without alcohol, and in her caption, she spoke more about how she felt that day and what made her want to become sober. She begins by saying, "This morning in the early morning of November 1st, 2017 is an unrecognizable version of myself. I had so much self-discovery to unlock and explore. I knew in this very moment I would allow myself to take back my light, show victory over my internal battle of self-respect, and brave this world with piercing clarity. Personally, to do this, I needed to stop drinking alcohol because it kept my mind and heart circling in the same direction, and quite honestly, I was exhausted. I wanted to feel the pain so that I could carry it like a badge of honor." And it's certainly great to see that she is now doing much better. For her kids' sake, I would say making this lifestyle change was probably the best decision she could have ever made. Coming in at number 8, Zac Efron. When Zac Efron appeared on a Facebook video for Bill Nye's Earth Day musical, his cheeks seemed to be extremely swollen and his jaw was much more prominent. Viewers immediately began speculating as to whether or not he had received some type of plastic surgery. A dermatologist even told Insider.com that Efron could have gotten fillers or facial implants. Interestingly enough though, Zac didn't actually have to deny the rumors himself. An Australian radio show host and friend of his came out publicly to deny the plastic surgery rumors. On the Kyle and Jackie O show, he said that there was no chance the actor had gone under the knife. "I would have known if he had any plastic surgery," he said, adding that Efron's face is already close to perfect. "It's like getting a Picasso and having a kid finger paint all over it. Why bother?" Coming in number 7, Kelly McGillis. Back in 1986, Kelly was the beautiful lady opposite Tom Cruise in the action movie Top Gun. However, now the 64-year-old is said to not be reprising her role as contractor Charlie Blackwood in the new sequel. In 2019, she told Entertainment Tonight that she was never actually contacted to come back for the upcoming installment, but she believes that it's because she looks unrecognizable now. They did did not, and nor do I think they would ever. I mean, I'm old and I'm fat and I look age appropriate for what my age is. I'd much rather feel absolutely secure in my skin and who and what I am at my age as opposed to placing a value on all that other stuff. Coming in number 6, Lara Flynn Boyle. In the late 1980s all the way into the early 2000s, Lara Flynn Boyle was often featured in the tabloids. The Twin Peaks star even covered Rolling Stone and was in a high-profile romance with Jack Nicholson, although now she is rarely spotted out in public, and when she was, it sparked massive rumors. In a rare red carpet appearance in 2017, it appeared as though she may have indulged a little too much in cosmetic procedures. Just last year, she did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter and revealed that she doesn't even own a computer, smartphone, or know how to use Google, adding that she doesn't even pay attention to what is written about her in the media. And when asked if she was planning on staging a comeback, the star quipped that she never went anywhere. I guess that would negate the need for a comeback then. Coming number 5, Adele. Adele in 2022 looks very different from the Adele that we were first introduced to. Back in early 2020, Adele revealed that she had lost a ton of weight. In fact, she lost 100 pounds after exercising for 2 years straight. During a Vogue cover story that she did, she talked about how her body has been objectified for her entire career. Adele also added how she was shocked by the amount of women that were having the most brutal conversations about her dramatic weight loss. She goes on to say, "I understand why some women especially were hurt. Visually, I represented a lot of women, but I'm still the same person. And the worst part of the whole thing was that the most brutal conversations were being had by other women about my body. I was very disappointed with that. That hurt my feelings." Despite all of this backlash though for her transformation, Adele seems to be embracing her new look. In at number 4, Wendy Williams. Unfortunately, it looks like the Wendy Williams show is officially going to be cancelled in June. Producers cited that with Wendy's ongoing health battle, it has made production very difficult to continue. For a while, they were having a rotation of guest hosts, but they did confirm that Sherri Shepherd will be replacing Williams. The producer of the Wendy Williams show and Sherri Shepherd's new show called Sherri confirmed that the replacement will take place this fall. Sherri will be inheriting the time slots on the Fox-owned and operated stations that have truly been the foundation for Wendy's level of national syndication since 2008. Wendy has battled with the autoimmune disorder Graves' disease for a long time, and recently some health issues connected to that caused her to need time off. Company co-president Mort Marcus and Ira Bernstein said in a statement, "Since Wendy is still not available to host the show as she continues on her road to recovery, we believe it is best for our fans, stations, and advertising partners to start making this transition now." They continue by saying that they hope that they can work with Wendy again in the future and still wish her a speedy and full recovery. They also express that they still have a great love and affinity for Wendy and admiration for her success. Coming in number 3, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke has had such an interesting career. After he became well known in the 1980s as a Hollywood tough guy and symbol of masculinity, Mickey's career kept being overshadowed by his personal life. By 1991, he had quit acting and started a career of boxing, although this career was not as kind to him. He had gone undefeated in 8 fights with 6 wins, 4 of which were knockouts, but the damage he took from these fights was horrendous. He's broken his nose, toe, and ribs, plus had a compressed cheekbone and split his tongue. Because of this, he would require plastic surgery, but Mickey would later say that he chose the wrong person to do it because the surgeon had left his face a complete mess. Fortunately, this actually ended up working in his favor. After being cast as a menacing and bruising character of Marv in Sin City, his career was launched yet again. Plus, he gave the performance of a lifetime in the 2008 film The Wrestler and ended up being part of the MCU in the Iron Man franchise. Not too bad for somebody that looks completely unrecognizable in 2022. Coming in at number 2, Bridget Fonda. Bridget Fonda quit Hollywood in 2002 and has not been spotted on a red carpet since 2010, so when she was photographed out in public for the first time in more than a decade, it caused big headlines. The former actress looked unrecognizable as she ran errands in Los Angeles. She was once known as one of the most glamorous women in the 1990s, but has proven that all stars go through changes over the years. Her current laid-back look sparked a lot of debate, with many comparing her to how she looked in the 1992 film called Single White Female, a movie that proved she could draw in big numbers as it would go on to make nearly $50 million upon release. Ultimately though, the pressure of being Hollywood's it girl finally got to her, and so she decided that she was going to retire to focus on starting a family. Last but certainly not least, on our number 1 spot, Linda Evangelista. Recently, supermodel Linda Evangelista stepped back into the public eye after spending the last 5 years of her life in hiding. During an exclusive interview with People magazine, Linda opened up about having a cosmetic procedure that she says left her brutally disfigured. Linda was once one of the most photographed people in the world, but she has been hiding out until she was ready to share her story. The model spoke about the emotional and physical pain that has consumed her life after she claims cool sculpting left her permanently disfigured. She tells People magazine, "I love being up on the catwalk. Now I dread running into someone I know. I can't live like this anymore, in hiding and shame. I just couldn't live in this pain any longer. I'm willing to finally speak." And this is a stark contrast from the Linda Evangelista that the world came to know 30 years ago. She wasn't just a model, she was a supermodel. She graced the cover of about 700 magazines in her career and was a muse for some of the fashion industry's top creators. Her story now, though, is more about getting back that sense of self and questioning why she felt the need to do these things to her body in the first place.